Something that I've always struggled with is how to know that a team is performing at the peak of their output. So how do you know that the team is maximizing the innovation per unit time? Is there a metric or a measure? I've never gotten anything very convincing about this, but everyone has a different perspective.
It's a great question, because honestly, you're asking, is there some kind of version of speed of light, right? Which you cannot break, but when you're at it, you know that you cannot get any better. And honestly, I don't know the answer, but I have a few insights here. One is that, if you have done everything possible to eliminate distractions, if you have given the team all the right tools, then at least, you have a shot of being optimal. So actually, at many companies, you've got this dilemma, do we pursue quality or velocity? And if it's velocity, we go very quickly, but we really break things. Or you pursue quality, but you never launch, right? And it's almost like, X or either or, right? But in Snowflake, what we concluded is that actually it should be quality and velocity, because velocity is an illusion till the next rollback, right? If you go too fast. So I talked about responsible tech debt management, but essentially, it's very important for planning to say, okay, here are new cool ideas. But at the same time, imagine that we only focus on innovation, but never focus on quality. It wouldn't do anybody any good, right? So we have to combine thinking about quality and velocity as one concept almost. And of course, at times you kind of tilt it slightly to like go faster or more quality, but ideally on both metrics, you get better over time. And at this point at Snowflake, it's not a dilemma. It's an accepted fact that both dimensions need to be pursued in concert.
Yeah, so I'm sure Snowflake releases a lot of products at a very high velocity, and I'm sure there's some tension between pushing business progress, pushing for market capture, revenue growth, and also balancing this quality metric that, frankly, I think engineering maybe has the biggest purview over. How do you balance that? How do you set the expectations for the business side of the house, the revenue side of the house, product side of the house, to create this balance of a non-dilemma between quality and velocity?
Yeah, so I should also add that, I send probably every 6 months a reminder to the product org that, quality is much more important than deadlines, right? So ideally, of course, we launch everything on time. In fact, tomorrow would be great. But in practice, we do pay attention to quality to the point where, if we discover some issues, we'd rather not launch than launch and regret. It kind of has many interesting aspects to it, but one of them is we spend a lot of time on alignment across the org. And our sales colleagues know very well that quality sells. In fact, we are very proud of our NPS 72. Recently, there was a blog post, 72 in our business is just a tremendously high score, and it sells, right? So same with self-managed service, with the no ops, no nobs approach, push to the limit, right? We are very proud of Snowflake just works, right? You don't need to configure, you don't need to do a whole bunch of things that other systems require. Now, obviously, there's always a temptation, like we can just give this one knob for this one customer or do this other thing for this other customer and kind of maybe move faster. But the aggregate result of such corner cutting would be going from a great product to something mediocre, right? So we have full understanding across the company. Same with automation. You may say that, okay, maybe this quarter we could go faster and deliver some more features, or we could automate some processes so in future quarters we can move faster, right? Those debates actually are not very difficult because our product management team, our sales team are very understanding. What helps is great track records. The same approach has been serving us very well. So now, for instance, a few quarters ago, we decided with our business colleagues that we will not do some things on the business side in a given quarter to make room for automation so that in future quarters we can go faster. And it was also a fairly easy decision and discussion. And so anyway, alignment does help. Track record does help. Also, what helps is that at Snowflake, we by and large have pretty good understanding of the product. So all the execution telemetry, all the statistics sit in something called Snowhouse. So it's a Snowflake account used internally, but pretty much all of engineers have access to it. I use it if I need some statistics. And the knowledge of the product from using it every day also helps to make it better, because otherwise we suffer.